Nell. I'm surrounded by poinsettias, which you'll see more of, and I'm going to give you 6 care tips on how to keep your poinsettias alive and looking good through the holiday season. I'm up at Santa Ynez Gardens in the Santa Ynez Valley. If you saw the movie Sideways, you know where I am. I'm in Santa Barbara's wine country. Stick around, because you're going to see a lot more beauty. Not me. All the poinsettias. Yes, it is the season when this most popular blooming plant makes it into our homes and offices, and they can be a little tricky to maintain, even during, a span of 3 to 4 weeks. Now, this video is not about keeping them going as a house plant, because they are deciduous, so most people don't keep them after the holidays because they just plainly do not look good. So this is for the season only, because you want to keep it looking as good as you can. So the first thing is to buy a healthy plant. It's only November 12th, so these aren't showing their full color and the flowers aren't fully open yet. Actually, these are the leaves. They're called bracts, and the colored leaves. So they're still a little bit small, and this is the flower here. And by the time you get it, it should be open, and you want it to be open, but you don't want it to be gone, because that means the plant is on the way out. And the foliage on these is gorgeous, but they come wrapped in foil usually, and oftentimes the foil's up to here. So you want to just take the foil back and make sure all this foliage is still on it and the foliage looks good. That's half the battle. Buy a good healthy plant. And here's a white variety, and you can see the flowers are just barely starting to open up here. So you want to sleeve them as soon as you get home and expose them to some air circulation and treat them well. So the next thing is exposure. You want it to be in a nice bright spot, but not in any hot direct sunlight. So you don't want it in a hot window, or conversely, you don't want it in a cold window. It can be near the window just as long as it's not too direct and too hot. Here in the greenhouse, it's ideal because it's a sunny day and it's all whitewashed. So the light is just diffused, coming in beautifully. And that is what they like. I'm filming myself, so it's a little hard to drag the tripod around here and get it set up in the rows. But the next thing up is temperature. I just kind of touched on the diffusion, and this greenhouse is warm, but it's not hot. And at night it's cool, and that's what poinsettias like. So if you keep your house a little bit warm on the day, warm, not hot, and then it's cool at night, that's also going to help it to last much longer. Now, the watering can be a little bit tricky, so you have to find a nice balance between not dry and not sopping wet. These plants with the beautiful colored, soft, silky leaves are actually euphorbias, which means they're succulents. So, but unlike the euphorbias, like the pencil cactus I just did a video and a blog about, that can go dry. These can't go dry. So you want the soil to be slightly moist to the touch, but you also don't want it to be wet. So, as a very general rule, maybe once a week, it's going to depend on the conditions of your home. You're going to have to figure that out, because if it's too dry, the lower leaves will fall off, and if it's too wet, the lower leaves will fall off. So just find a nice even balance with the watering. So following hot on the heels of the topic of watering is to remove the foil or the decorative pot when you water it. Because what happens is, if you water, then the water builds up around the base of the pot and the plant becomes waterlogged and it'll rot out. So what you want to do is take that off, take it out of the pot and then give it a good water, let the water all drain out, and then put it back in its pot, its saucer, or its sleeve. Oh, and as usual, there is a post to go along with this video, which will have everything outlined in it, and maybe even more if I forgot to say something. So, the last tip I have for you is to keep it away from heaters and from cold drafts. It doesn't like either one, plainly put. A quick recap for you. You want to buy a healthy plant. You want nice bright light but no direct sunlight. Warm temperatures, cool at night. You want to keep it evenly moist, not too wet and not too dry. You want to remove the foil to water, and you want to keep it out of any hot or cold drafts. Poinsettias, like other euphorbias, emit a sap, and that sap was once thought to be toxic, but now it's much less toxic, if toxic at all. So you don't have to worry about that. Just don't eat them. There are some gray fish hooks right there, and poinsettias, you know what, you guys, it just makes me happy to be amongst all these plants. So I have wrapped up this video, and now it's time for me to head into the beautiful little town of Los Olivos and do some wine tasting. A big thank you to Chris with Santa Ynez Gardens for letting me film this video here. Some of these poinsettias will be going out in a week or two. They'll actually be going out before Thanksgiving. The rest will go out after Thanksgiving. So maybe some of these will be making their way into your home. I hope you have found this video to be helpful and that you can keep your poinsettias healthy, happy, and looking good during the holiday season. And please subscribe because I have a lot more videos coming your way. Thanks for all your likes and your subscribes. I really appreciate them. And happy holidays. A little bit early, but happy holidays. And as always, I thank you so much for watching. Bye.